Welcome. I'm here. I'm here with Megan McGrath. She is a hairstylist, and she's going to share her journey in her career with us today. If you are a student signing in to view this video, please make sure you fill in your survey. It helps the Regina District Industry Educational Council get funding and improve our presentations. You also get entered for a $50 gift certificate. So please make sure you fill in that survey. And with that, I will have a few clicks and turn it over to Megan.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Megan McGrath, and I am a hairstylist and Redken educator based out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I began my career in the hair world about 9 years ago now. For those of you that don't really know much about hair and the education that or I guess like the schooling that it requires, it's a 10-month curriculum done usually out of MC College is what we have in Saskatchewan. And if you go to other provinces, there's different hair schools, but it's 3,500 hours, which is equivalent to about 10 months full-time in school. The really cool thing about being in the trades is that we have a lot more flexibility with our education. There's tons of options for us to advance and to do different things, but also you finish your career or your education as soon or as quickly as you want to. So it's all in your hands, which is amazing. So like I said, being in the trade, so I am a journeyman hairstylist. That means I have my red seal. So what that means for me is that I can travel anywhere in the world and I can do hair. So there's other places like in America, for example, each state has its own kind of curriculum and what they do for schooling. And so if you were, say, to move to Texas to California, you would probably have to do different exams to be able to practice hair in that state. But in Canada, when we have our red seal, I can travel anywhere in the world and get to do my job without having to do any more schooling. So that was a little long-winded, but that's about how that works. I also am a national Redken educator for Canada. So what that means is I actually am employed by Redken, the hair care brand, and I get to travel nationally and globally to educate other stylists on our brand, our products. I'm a colorist. That's my jam. And there's a lot of designers, which means hair cutting. That they like to educate, but hair color is all for me and what I love to do. And it's actually amazing in a way for us to give back to younger generations of hairstylists. I teach people that have been doing hair for 3 months and 30 years, which is really great because we find our niche and what works for us. I also am a master stylist, so I do also work full-time behind the chair at Revamp Salon Company based out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And I'm also the educational director. So what that means is any new staff that gets hired with the salon, I kind of take them under my wing and I show them the ropes and help them just be the best version of themselves and feel so comfortable actually doing services on clients because it's a whole new aspect from being in school. While at work, you can expect many things like hairstylists do. So although I am a colorist, I still cut hair. So we color hair, we cut hair, lots of customer service duties. So there's a lot of front end stuff that has to happen by booking appointments, answering phone calls, training, like I said, all new staff on procedures and skills. Hair school teaches you everything that you need to know to do your job. But my job as the educational director at our salon is to make sure that you are 100,000% comfortable and that we get you all up to date with new trends and what's coming. Because hair school is very generalized. They just got to teach you the bare minimum to get you licensed. And then when you get into the world, if you find a salon that offers an apprenticeship program, which our salon does, it's kind of like we call it a stylist boot camp. So we put you through a really intense, like 2 months of extra training so that I can't even explain to you how much you learn in 2 months. It's phenomenal. And educating new and experienced stylists on the various color and product lines. So like I said, when I travel all over Canada, which is so cool, I've got to see so many places that I would have never gone had it not been for Redken. And just being able to connect with people and just being able to be that person that helps them finally understand something. Because hair color believe it or not, is super science-based. Science was never my jam in school. I can read and write like you wouldn't believe, and I can talk, obviously, but math and science was always a struggle for me. But for some reason, it clicked for me when I started doing hair color, and I love the transformations that I get to create every single day on my guests behind the chair. It's so much fun. This is a little sneak peek of what my workspace looks like. So as you can see, we all have our own stations with our hydraulic chairs. The hydraulic chairs, meaning they have a pump on them. So although they look kind of fun, they're actually more so for ergonomical purposes. And so you don't break your back from bending over and like reaching. So the chairs go up and down so that you can do your job the most comfortably and effectively as possible. We also carry 5 different product lines at our salon. So we carry Redken, Living Proof, R&Co, Orbay, and Amika. So another really great part about this industry is that there's so many different brands and color lines and product lines that you get to experiment with and find one that actually works for you. And you get to create cool things. Like I said, I get to be a Redken artist with Canada because I love Redken product. It's just what works for me. I love the education they offer and the products that actually work and are effective. So every line kind of has their own educational team per se. And if you're lucky enough and they also like you and you apply, you get to work one-on-one with the brands, which is really great. Working with Redken allows me to be on the front end of all new product launches and new things that are coming. So for example, 3 weeks ago, I was sent product that isn't even available in Canada or the USA to experiment on myself and on a few select clients to provide my feedback as an actual stylist in the field. Because obviously scientists, create these products, but they're not hairstylists, so they don't really know how they work. So they select certain stylists all over the world to actually do the beta testing for these lines to make sure that they are actually performing with how they like to perform. So a lot of really cool stuff there. So it's one of my favorite parts about my job, you could say. Some of the unknown duties in the hair world that I think a lot of people don't understand. So long gone are business card days. So we still have business cards because there's people that still enjoy those. But a lot of it is done through social media marketing. So think of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, even Pinterest. There's so many different paths that you can do for marketing, and it's all about you. So what do you want to show people, and why do you want people to come see you to do your hair? So it is completely up to you to finding a clientele. It takes a long time to build up, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But with that being said, it is so rewarding when you finally find your people. So there's nothing better than going into work and getting to do hair that you like to do. So for example, I used to work at a salon in the beginning of my career, which was a fantastic salon, but they did a lot of haircuts and a lot of perms. And that was just like, I knew that wasn't for me. It's not what I wanted, but that's just the demographic and how that salon, their clientele was, and that's fine. So that's why I decided to move locations to my new salon where they were heavily color focused, which is what I like to do. I love blonding. I love doing all these different things. And another unknown duty is taking additional educational classes. So for example, before I hopped on this Zoom call, I was actually on a 3-hour educational class on Zoom because we can't travel anymore, which is like not fun. So everything is done via Zoom. But we, at our salon specifically, we constantly are striving to be at the top of our game and know exactly what's coming out and when, just so we can educate our clients better. Traveling for work-related things before COVID, when we could do that. Again, like I said, I got to go to a lot of cool places. I've been to Toronto a few times to take some classes, primarily Calgary, Edmonton, because they're easier to get to than Toronto. But with education, it's all in your hands. So if you don't want to travel, you don't have to. I like traveling to bigger cities because I find that they offer bigger and more frequent classes for what I'm going for. And team meetings. So even though your chair is your office, you could say, I work with 13 other people that we all have to be on the same page with communicating, because although we all have our own chairs, there's things that still need to get done as a salon so that we can flow properly together. A lot of, or some of the rewards with working as being a hairstylist is I get to help people feel like the best version of themselves. I don't think I definitely didn't know this when I started doing hair, but you get to see so much of the good in people. Their great days, they're getting married, they're having babies, they're moving, they're doing all these great things, they're getting degrees, whatnot. But then also you get to see people on some of the hardest days of their life, which is like not really what I was expecting to get into. But at the same time, it's so rewarding to feel that people are comfortable with coming to you and talking about those things, and that they know that leaving your chair, they're going to feel 10 times better than what they did coming in. With that being said, creating meaningful connections with clients. I actually moved to Saskatoon almost 9 years ago now. So I have no family here. I have no friends. And ironically, all of my friends now, 9 years later, are either hairstylists or my clients, because we create such a great connection and we bond so well together that not only do I get to create beautiful hair, but I also get to spend time outside of the salon with these people, which is awesome. Before COVID, which means going out, is usually the hairstylist, aka me, is the one doing everybody else's hair to get them ready, but it's fine, it's great. Another really great reward is helping grow stylists. So there's nothing that I love more is seeing somebody fresh out of hair school that is usually they're feeling a little defeated because they're overwhelmed. There's so much going on, and being able to just like coach them and guide them in the right direction of where they want to go. Because I was in their shoes, and at the time, these associate programs didn't exist for what we do now, and they would have made such a huge difference if they had been. So I love being that person that people feel comfortable going to, and it's like, help, I don't know what to do, or how do I do this? How do I grow my clients? Like, what did you do? And so being able to just guide them and show them the ropes is like something really rewarding. Again, it's just like with assisting in stylist educational endeavors. So like I said, I'm a colorist, but I might have an associate that just loves to cut hair. And I mean, I can cut hair. It's just definitely not my favorite thing to do. And so I can direct them towards someone or a brand that is heavily focused in design and is going to give them what they need to help them really flourish. So there's really, I don't think there's anything better, to be honest. So, okay. So some of the challenges and stressors of our career that some people don't really know or take into account is that there's a lot of daily unknowns. So unlike a typical office job where you come to work, you've got kind of your 10 to 15 things that need to get done every single day. As a hairstylist, you have no idea what you're walking into 90% of the time, which also is why I love the industry so much, is because every day brings a new challenge and a new creative outlet. You might have a client that typically gets highlights done, but she comes in for her appointment. She's like, actually, I want to go red today. And in your mind, you were prepared for highlights, but now you're doing a completely different transformation. Some people find that really stressful. I live for it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Another stressor with marketing. When I went to hair school, they didn't teach you anything about marketing because social media wasn't a thing, which is crazy to think that 9 years ago, social media like wasn't really a thing. And now that's all we do. So it was a big learning curve in trying to teach yourself marketing and how to market to what demographic and how you're doing it, what's working, what's not working. Another challenge would be the lack of flexibility for time off in peak season. So think long weekends, think Christmas, like times where people are usually winding down or getting ready to go back to work, like end of summertime, Christmas time. That is peak season for us. That usually means weddings. That means people are seeing family, so they're getting their hair done. So while everybody else is off enjoying time off, that's usually peak season for us. So we are like going. So a lot of salons, you'll find that December is we call it a blackout month. So there is no time off in December because quite frankly, there just isn't time for time off. But with that being said, when you come to travel, we get to travel on not peak season. So think of cheaper holidays because nobody else is traveling in the middle of December or middle of January, sorry. It's usually less busy. There's lots of really great things like that. And then often working weekends. This is a big one for a lot of our new staff, which we're coming to find out. A lot of them being like 19, 20. They live out of town. They want to go home on the weekends, which we understand. But in order to really build a clientele at the beginning, you have to hustle. And that means working evenings and weekends. And it's not ideal, but throughout your career, that's when you start to phase those back. So now that I'm 8 years in, I work one evening a week and every other Saturday. I could not work Saturdays, but I actually quite enjoy working them because it's like an easy way to end the week. And I have Sundays and Mondays off instead of working a Monday to Friday. So Mondays I get a lot of stuff done because people are usually back at work, and that's my day off, so I can get to run errands and it's not that busy. So there's pros and cons to it for sure. So salary and benefits. So this varies on time and industry, your skill level, how hard you work, which is why I love this industry so much. So if you want to be $100,000 stylist and make 6 figures in a year, you can do it. You just have to put the time in and put the hustle in. Or if you are cool with working Monday to Friday, just very leisurely, not really putting a lot into your career, your development, you can expect to earn kind of between $25,000 and $45,000 in a year. But for myself, I strive, I'm money motivated, you could say. So I like to work hard and push myself as far as I can with my skills and how hard I'm working behind the chair. So with that being said, that requires time and education, and it definitely doesn't happen within the first 1 to even 5 years, but kind of expect after that 5-year mark is when things really start to pick up and they actually become a lot easier for you. So with that being said, we work a shift work-based salon. So I work a 32-hour work week instead of a 40-hour work week. So I work 6 hours a day, which is phenomenal. But we work with a really fantastic company called Summit Salon Business. So Summit Salon is a business school for hairstylists. So they teach us how to maximize our workday to make the most amount of money in the smallest amount of time. Because long gone are the days where stylists are working 12-hour days, 5 days a week to barely make ends meet, because our bodies cannot handle that. Our mental health cannot handle that. And you need you time, you need family time. So what they have come up with is a beautiful formula, I guess you could say, where stylists get to work 6 hours a day. So either I work 8:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon, where I get the rest of the evening and afternoon to myself, or I don't start till 3 p.m. I work 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. on my one evening. So it's at the beginning, you're like, well, I'm only working 6 hours a day. What does this mean? It means it's amazing and you should completely enjoy it, because I have lots of friends that work office jobs Monday to Friday, 9 to 6, and they are very envious of me. But with that being said, there usually is no health benefits involved or a pension. That is solely put up to you because according to the government, we are considered self-employed, but we still receive a T4 depending where you work. But it's a really confusing. Sometimes I don't really understand it, but it's fine. But you feel free to get health benefits on your own. They're really affordable as well. And then just being responsible and getting your RSP set up as quickly as you can, because the younger you are, the more money you're going to have when you retire. Stat holidays, we get those major stat holidays off. So think Good Friday, Thanksgiving, Easter, whatnot, and then 15 days a year for holidays. So your typical 3 weeks worth of holidays. And then anything after, I believe it's 10 years, and you get 4 weeks of holidays, paid holidays. Supports and personal development. So personal development is on your own responsibility. It's not mandatory, but strongly suggested. So this goes back to education. So your employer will not force you to do any education by any means. It's completely up to you, but that directly reflects your growth behind the chair. So if you have been doing hair for 10 years, but have only taken 2 classes, like I just said, social media didn't exist like 9 years ago. And now it does. So think of how much changes in the industry within even a year. So it's up to you to stay up to date on what's trending and what's what's up and coming so that you can provide the best experience for your guests. Personal development is also at the stylist's own expense, which includes travel, accommodations, and the class price. So they are an investment. With our salon, we have a really great setup. So we work on a level system in our salon. So think of like level 1 being like introductory level, you're new on the floor, upwards to a level 5, which is a master stylist. And for every level that you're at, our salon company will actually give you an education credit. So for every level that you're at, you get $100 to put towards education, which is really awesome. So for myself, I get $500 a year to take any class anywhere in the world that I want to. And my salon company will put $500 towards education, because that's their way of encouraging you to take education, because it is expensive and it is an investment. And a lot of people don't prioritize it as much as they should be. And like I mentioned earlier, the Summit Salon Business Program aids in the development of stylists. So I've taken quite a few business courses from them as well, where I've traveled to Calgary for, and they kind of just lay it out for you and make it very simple of like how to make your life easier behind the chair. So learning how to set boundaries and booking your day properly, just all those little things that nobody really thinks of, but it actually helps your life like tenfold through. So yeah, a lot on your own, but completely 100% worth it. Opportunities in the field. So you can either work from home or in a salon. A lot of people start out in a salon and then maybe phase out to do a chair rental somewhere and then maybe just working out at their house. You can take this industry as far as you'd like. Like I said, you can work from home or you can travel the world and do hair, which is awesome. You can actually do celebrity hair, which is also amazing. Opportunities to work on film sets. So actually my cousin, she lives in Vancouver and she is a hairstylist as well. But over the last 4 years, she's actually been working on film sets. So think of lots of those Netflix documentaries that you're watching, Riverdale. She does hair for those, which is actually so cool. I wish I wasn't so happy here because I was like, man, I would love to go to Vancouver and do hair on movie sets and travel globally for education. So there's another really big hair show that happens once every 2 years in Canada called Fusion. And that is Redken's big educational show. Sorry, I can't think of the word. Educational debut. And so it is it's the world's single biggest single product show. So Redken is the host and they are the only product line at this show. Oh my gosh, sorry, that was so long-winded. But that was actually supposed to happen in May of last year. So I was supposed to travel. Redken was paying my full expense paid and I would be paid to be there to work backstage at Fusion Canada, which is probably one of the biggest opportunities that you can get as a hairstylist. And I was so excited. And then the world decided to like pump the brakes. So that's being postponed until next year. So hopefully we're able to gather again because there's over 1,000 stylists that attend this from all over Canada. And they have like, in the past, they've had halftime, but like evening shows. There was like Maroon 5 was there one night, the Jonas Brothers. Like it's insane. It's like it's like the Super Bowl for hairstylists. It is probably the coolest experience you'll ever get to go to. But there's one that happens in Montreal or Toronto or in Las Vegas. So it's actually actually kind of insane. I think a lot of people don't realize that hairstylists, we like to have a lot of fun, but also learn while we're doing it. So work-life balance. So like I mentioned, I work a 32-hour work week and it's a shift work. So for myself, my schedule is Tuesday through Saturdays. And if I have that Saturday off, I'll work extra hours throughout the week. So I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Or I work with some girls that would prefer to have Wednesdays off, so they'll get Sundays and Wednesdays off, or Sundays and Thursdays off. So it's really flexible, which is fantastic when you think about, when you think about mat leave. So say you have a baby and you want to come back to work part-time, that is an option for you. So like you don't have to come back right away. You can come back after a year, you can come back after 3 months, like whatever you want to. And if you want to work 12 hours a week, that's also an option for you as well. So the flexibility is there, which is amazing. Like I said, a 5-day work week, and stat holidays off. And overtime doesn't exist in the hair world. So you can work as much or as little as you want. Your pay is reflected directly in how many services you provide. So to begin with, we work on usually when you start by making a wage because you don't have enough clientele to make it worth being paid commission. And then once you start to develop a clientele, then you're on a commission basis. So you get paid a commission of the amount of services that you do. So if you want to work a 12-hour day and you're booked from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., you just get paid a commission of what happened throughout that day. It doesn't matter if you worked a 12-hour day or a 3-hour day. Like, it's just the amount of work you do is what you get paid. So that's how overtime exists in our industry. And then I guess like questions. Not sure, like maybe like Troy's gonna pop on here, but if you guys do have anything to reach out with, you can pop on my Instagram page. It's MLM Styling on Instagram. So I post tons of content and photos. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But that's kind of the 411 on hair and what it's all about.
Awesome job. Thanks. I'm just trying to think of questions I have. Renette might have some too.
Yeah, actually, I do have a question for you, Megan. What's the job prospect for students coming out of high school looking into a career as a hairstylist? There are a lot of hairstylists out there, and I know a lot of chain companies have a lot of stylists. What would be your recommendation for students that are looking into this career?
So my biggest thing would be to do your research and kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And if you decide that like you want to color hair, you want to and actually go somewhere with this industry, I strongly recommend you look at a salon company that provides an associate program. So that's kind of like what I mentioned, our stylist boot camp. So we take people fresh out of hair school, especially our last batch. We've noticed our last couple new hires have really struggled because with COVID, they're like 60% of their education was online. And so the hair world is a very hands-on program, and they did not feel comfortable or feel like they knew enough to actually confidently do their job. So with our associate program, they work one-on-one with myself and our owner for anywhere from 1 to 6 months, depending where they are, where we teach you everything that you need to know, all of the secrets that we have. But it's just to ensure that you feel the most comfortable and most confident behind the chair, so that you don't go in like terrified. So an associate program or an apprenticeship program is the best way to enter this industry for sure.
So just to clarify, so you're recommending students take the course, like say through Marvell or Marker, whatever the program is, and then how do they find these associate programs? Is there a list, or is it just a matter of contacting like Revamp and saying, hey, I just graduated, do you have associate program? Are you interested in me? Like, what's that step?
Yeah, so with the hair schools these days, because there isn't a lot of them anymore, a lot of the bigger salons have really good relationships with the hair schools. So if you mention to the hair school that you want someone with an associate program, they can 110% point you to, the 5 salons that offer whichever. Our salon also does frequent education at the hair school. So we will go there. We'll do like a color demo or something along the lines of that, where we explain kind of what we offer and why they should work for us. And then with the hair school, they're actually required to do what they're called in-salon hours. So with your education, like I said, it's 10 months or 3,500 hours. So for halfway through your program, you could decide that you want to earn 15 hours by working in a hair salon. So you won't get paid, but you'll be at the salon kind of seeing how the flow is, helping with towels, foils, kind of like basic customer service things. But every salon kind of has their own vibe. So we recommend that everybody comes and does like a 3-hour time slot with us just to see if we're a good fit for them, because you don't know until you're actually in the environment.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that explanation.
Okay.
One of the questions I was thinking about was your prerequisites. You talked about the science based of coloring, and I know it used to have a chemistry 20 to get in, but I don't know. You you can comment on that at all.
Oh, that's a good question. I think for right now, because I graduated in Manitoba, so that's where I did my high school and university education, and decided to get into hair and move to Saskatchewan. But I believe that you just need a high school diploma to apply for hair. And in hair school, there's actually different terms, you could say, that where they focus solely on formulations, color. We do a lot of anatomy, actually. A lot of things that you wouldn't think have anything to do with hair, but definitely help us. But all of that education is provided in school. But if you have a good understanding, it's going to help make your life that much easier than having to relearn like Chem 20, like you said. So,
Nice.
Are you more employable if you had your hairstylist and then you had some aesthetic classes behind you, or is it better just to focus, like you said, your jam is kind of the coloring. Does it really come down to personality of the student, whether or not they want to focus one direction or kind of get that, can I say, a jack of all trades kind of education?
yeah. So, I mean, that goes down to kind of like personal opinion. So with our salon, we are solely a hair-based salon. So we don't really offer aesthetics. Like, we don't do nails or facials or anything like that, but there are a lot of spas and salons that offer both. Obviously, the more you do, the more options you have to build a clientele faster, because not only can you do facials, but you can do nails, lashes, like you name it. And a lot of those extracurricular programs like waxing and nails and lashes are a smaller amount of time, so they're not as hefty as the 10-month program. So you can take those in addition while you're in hair school as well. I know a couple girls will stay late on some days to earn that time, so they're not having to do two separate programs, but it's all kind of done at once. So it definitely widens your horizons of where you can apply and what kind of services you can provide behind the chair.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Megan. That was really good. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks. As expected. Well done. Very professional.
It's a really fun industry to be in. And like I said, there's tons of directions you can take it. So you can kind of take it as far as you want to. But I love the flexibility with it to be able to kind of do whatever you want to do. So
Yeah, it's a make everybody feel good industry.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Bye.